Hello, everybody, and welcome to T-Box Talk, episode 21. Today on the podcast, going to be doing some weekend roundup. Going to do some gut reaction golf stuff. I didn't tell the boys anything that I prepared. I'm going to just throw some stuff out there, and we're going to get into it. Going to do some what are we watching, Larry David complaints from the tee, and then a stand-up session if we have some time at the end. All right, as always, I am Andrew, joined today by Josh and Will. And let's get into it. Labor Day weekend roundup. Will, take it away.
Nothing crazy for me, honestly. Beached it with the family on Saturday. That was a lot of fun. Saw my aunt and uncle. They're actually, we have some like Polish, not family, but family friends. So they have a Polish friend of theirs, Matthew. He's like 21. He's staying with them. So got to meet him. His older brother actually stayed with my family when I was in high school. So
is he
cool.
From Poland?
Yeah, straight from Poland. Yeah,
that's awesome.
So first time swimming in the ocean, actually.
Oh, no way.
And he's like a professional swimmer. So like all of a sudden he just like he walks down to the water and just stares at it for like 5 minutes straight. And then all of a sudden like he's like out by the buoys.
That's pretty wild.
I was like, that's sketch. But
my dad's just like that. He'll go in the ocean and like he'll just disappear and then he'll appear like 20 yards out. It's like, what the hell are you doing?
He was just gone. I don't go past, like, once I can, like, barely stop feeling my feet, I'm like, I'm good. I'm not going out any farther. But, yeah, South Kingston Beach on Saturday. We had a family birthday party for Marissa's brother on Sunday. And then yesterday I did literally nothing all day. I think I worked for, like, 2 or 3 hours in the morning, and then I just watched movies. And Marissa and I had some food planned out for the entire day, so we went grocery shopping on Sunday. I told Colucci we made homemade pretzel sticks.
Oh, that's fire.
So that was cool. And then we made this like chicken parm crock pot meal that we had for dinner. So that was awesome. It was a good day. It was a good relaxing day. Definitely, I mean, we both needed it. So, yeah, nothing crazy. I mean, the weather didn't really set us up for anything.
Yeah, we went from a full-on drought in New England to we're now having too much rain. And, like, Providence is underwater at the moment. So kind of a disaster, but the rainy weekend set up for some all-time cave sessions for me. I think I cranked about 12 to 13 movies out this weekend. But I'll get into it a little later for what are we watching. But we had a big Cape trip on Sunday down to my aunt's house, and it was just awesome. I had my uncle in from California, some cousins, and it was just one of those times, you know, because we used to do it all the time as kids, but we haven't really been doing it as much except for this summer. We've been going down there a lot, and we've gotten to our classic 2-on-2 wiffle ball, and my shoulder's gone. I'm just gone because after the wiffle ball game, I was like, hey, you know, like we always play like gentlemen's rules, like, you know, no fast pitch. It's like, you know, just make it fun, you know? So I was like, let's try to like actually strike each other out and like throw as hard as we can and do all this stuff. So
he's nursing the shoulder right now as we speak.
Well, good thing Josh has 40 ice packs in the freezer.
I was almost
in case you need one.
So this was on Sunday. Yesterday, Monday, I was almost in tears laying in my bed because like my shoulder is ripped apart right now.
Damn, Kaluch.
I only threw like 8 pitches, and I was like, "This was a mistake. This was a mistake.
This is a mistake." Kaluch is a pretty knockdown wiffle ball player. I give him credit. That's like one of his like hidden secret talents. That's like you want him on your team.
I hit like 5 home runs, dude. It was freaking epic.
Stinger City, yeah.
No, we used to play like as kids. We at this Cape house, we used to play all weekend long. Like we would not even go to the beach with the family. We would just be like, oh, we're gonna stay back and play, and we would play game after game after game after game. And like there's all these specific rules of the yard. Like if it goes around this tree but under this but to the left of that, that's a home run. But if it's to the right of that, that's a foul ball. It's like there's all this crazy shit that we do, and it just makes for a great time.
Did you ever play junk ball as a kid growing up?
So we don't use junk balls when we play, but we always had a junk ball set that we would like play like other.
We played like a lot of home run derby with junk ball because you could hit that ball a mile.
So the rule was not the ball, but the bat that came with the junk ball set with that red sweet spot on it.
Yep.
That was only allowed to use once per inning.
Oh, okay, cool.
Other than that, you had to go yellow bat.
Played a lot of junk ball in the yard as a kid.
Yeah,
like leaving
really
my dad, like fun. Usually my dad would get mad because like, you know, dogs come over, they pee in the yard, they leave yellow stains. But then meanwhile, we're leaving like big, massive footprints in the yard from like hours and hours of junk ball.
Yeah, no, it's really fun. Like, or like you do the thing where you fill up the wiffle ball bat with sand. so then it becomes weighted, and then you tape the end of it. That's how you make an epic wiffle ball bat. But I had a great weekend. I have some LDs from the tees coming up later about my drive home, but I'll throw it to Josh for his weekend.
Yeah, I had a good weekend. I had a very productive weekend. As usual, my weekends have become that way. And this one was a little different because Friday we went out to my family and I went to Jackie's Galaxy in Providence.
What'd you get?
we got some bullshit. I got General Tso chicken and, blah, blah, blah. I don't like the place that much. I just don't think that the food is all that quality. I mean, what I do like is the view is pretty awesome, like of Providence, and just spending time outside while we have it is still awesome right now. But as Sunday rolled around, because I was doing a number of different things. I was trying to do this weekend. I did a big workout weekend where I've been trying to accomplish a muscle up. I've never done a muscle up, last time I did a muscle up was when I was way younger, in high school, and I was doing extreme cals, handstand push-ups. And the muscle up is when you do a pull-up and you go above the bar and then push yourself.
Oh, I couldn't even.
And I've been getting pretty good at pull-ups recently because I'm sticking with it and I'm putting my 80% of my focus on it. You know what I mean? The rest is push-ups and running. But I feel fucking great. I got my sleep schedule back. And then Sunday rolls around and my parents just bought Phantom Farms. So it was just a farm in our town. And they just told me, I was like, yeah, they were like, we're going to the farm. You want to come with? I'm like, yeah, I'll go for the ride. I like being over there. It's kind of fall now.
I already know where this is
going. Yeah, I roll in. And in one fucking day, I basically rebuilt the farm with them and rebuilt. I must have spent 5 hours with my mom, going through the entire POS. I had to learn the POS system from scratch to teach her how to use the POS system.
Yep.
Because the previous owner didn't know really how to use the POS system. And it was a mess, but I'm pretty pumped because my mom and I were able to get all the items in. I now know the entire staff. We rebuilt two of the main rooms in Phantom Farms, and it was a fuck. So I work for Phantom Farms now. Is the point.
I'm getting really good at pull-ups too. It's that one where you pull yourself up out of bed every day, and then you have to go to work. I do that once a day. I might get to 2. If you fall back asleep, you got to pull yourself.
That's pretty
up
good.
twice.
That's impressive. Yeah, that's actually the pull-up I'm not good at, but I'm working that out by getting to sleep a little earlier.
There we go.
And I'll say there was one thing I did do that was crazy over the weekend, which is this is going to be weird, but I watched this video. You guys know Alex Honnold, how he did climb free solo. Yeah. So there's very little content around free soloing because the people who do like to free solo don't film themselves. You know what I mean? They don't like cameras around because it adds pressure and whatnot. And if they die, they don't want themselves on camera for their family to watch them hurl to their death.
Yep.
So it's typically a pretty intimate experience. But there's this one YouTuber called Magnuson, and he's from Norway. He's apparently was Norway's best climber, and now he's a big YouTuber. Got 1.5 million subs. And he does a free solo. He goes to Las Vegas to casually go to a rock climbing gym with Alex Honnold. And Alex Honnold texts him the night before and goes, I'm thinking I'm leaning more towards bringing you to a free solo. Brings him to this fucking cliff, and it's 300 meters high, vertical cliff in the middle of Las Vegas. Not in the middle, but actually on the outskirts, but the middle of Vegas or whatever,
in the desert.
Nevada, in the desert, yeah. And you can see the strip from where they are once they get halfway up. But the whole entire thing is he doesn't really want to do it. You know what I mean? And so he's the whole way through you're experiencing the nerves. And then Alex Honnold is also free soloing. He gets him to do it. He does it. And he holds a camera on Magnuson the whole way up. So you're watching Magnuson free solo and he's visibly you're just waiting for him to fucking fall to his death because it's just so scary. And you're looking down at what they're seeing, and it's probably one of the craziest videos I've ever watched, and my hands were completely full of sweat after watching. But it's not really what are we watching, but it was the craziest thing I've ever seen, and I'm gonna send you guys a video after this so you can check it out.
I would love to watch that. Yeah, that shit freaks me out. I watched one of the movies that I watched. I'm not gonna talk about it later, so I'll just chime it in here. I watched that new movie Fall, where the 2 girls get stuck on top of the cable tower, and I was because like I've like slowly developed this like fear of heights. Like I was like having like heart palpitations watching this movie. It's like it was unbelievable.
That reminds me, cable tower, like a telephone cable tower.
Like a tower, like where they have the antennas on the top.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say it reminds me of a movie called Frozen. Really stupid freaking movie, but they get stranded on the ski lift in the middle of the storm. Yeah, obviously a lot smaller scale than I guess what you're talking about.
You know what's funny? That was one of the first movies I ever watched on Netflix.
Really?
Yes, I remember doing it too. There was 2 shows. When I first got my Netflix account when I was a little kid, I watched The Office, and that was one of the first movies I watched. Frozen.
Yeah, Frozen. It's kind of addicting, but it's a stupid fucking movie. Yeah.
I love those type of movies though, like those like horror movies or like suspense
where they do everything wrong.
Yes. Yeah. It's just like, just so stupid. But so that sounds like it's gonna wrap up the weekend roundup. We'll go into some golf stuff here. So I told the boys just be prepared to have some reactions to things. I found a few things I wanted to talk about. One LIV thing, LIV to allow players to wear shorts.
Oh my fucking God. Dude. This is what I was saying. This is everything I ever wanted out of the LIV Tour. It's like they finally came along and are breaking the fucking stupid barriers of the PGA Tour's gentleman rules. Why are you making players go out there and wear pants? Yeah. There's not a helmet in the NFL. It's not like protecting them. It's hurting them. They can get the heat stroke that you can get on some of the days they play. I want to scream right now, dude. Thank you, LIV Tour. Oh my God.
No, I saw like a lot of LIV, I would say, let's say haters just for now, that were supporting this, because it's like, you're listening. They're listening to the players.
Yeah.
That's what it really comes down to, is like, maybe like in some cases you can, because I know golf pants are, they can be pretty lightweight for the most part, but still it's not that. It's like, it's the difference between just cutting off a little piece of garment. It's not going to change how people perceive the game or you as a player.
It's so stupid.
Golf shorts can be fucking nicer than some golf pants.
I agree.
It's like apples to oranges. It's like, it's fucking stupid.
Yeah, but then if you go on Twitter, you'll find like the golf purists who are like, "This is a disgrace to the game."
What is their age? Are they age under or over 100? Because that sounds like they have to be sort of in that 100 range.
Well, it's like, you guys know that I hate wearing shorts. Like I wear. You guys always like say, "I can't believe you're wearing pants today." Whenever we play golf, and it's like, it's not because I like genuinely feel like I need to wear pants to feel professional. It's just I don't like wearing shorts golfing.
Optional.
It's optional, and it's like, well, personally for me, I don't like putting sunscreen. I'm white as shit. I'm a ghost. I don't like putting sunscreen on 14 times a day when I play.
Yeah,
it's just that's like in some small way asking an NBA player to wear fucking pants while they play. Like, it's just stupid to me to restrict somebody. And the only reason I make that comparison is because, yes, like an NBA player is going full tilt. It's entirely different. But at the end of the day, you're out there sometimes. Those golfers go out there for the pre-round, the round, the post-round. They're waiting around out in the sun. And some of those days, it's not like an arena where it's climate controlled. It's like, it's literally, they could be out there in 120 degree, like Las Vegas or whatever, Arizona heat. It's bullshit, dude. And it also just tacks on. There's the physical aspect of it, and then there's also sort of the I don't know what the word I'm looking for, the politics behind it.
Yeah.
Right? Is like the fact that you are making people wear pants because you want to be seen as X. Right? You're sort of like saying that shorts are below us.
Yeah.
And it's just that sort of elitism that I think that the LIV Tour, and actually going even back to why, what's his face?
Greg Norman.
Why Greg Norman, even way back in the day in the late 90s, tried to take on the PGA Tour, is because this is like a 100-year thing. It's not like, that people love Happy Gilmore for a reason. People love John Daly for a reason. It's because they were
break the mold.
They broke the mold of what a golfer could be, and they applied to the common man. Like that's what LIV is apparently thinking, or at least listening to their players about.
Yeah, so it's a pretty cool thing. It's just I love whenever like there's a rule change and you get the golf purists who like have meltdowns online. Like I just think it's so funny to me.
I want to see that. I want to see what those fucking people are saying.
You got to get on Twitter. Twitter is a goddamn landmine of things, dude. I love Twitter. I freaking love Twitter. All right, next thing I want to talk about. There is a new bar/restaurant coming to Boston. It's already a company. I did some research on it. It's called Putt Shack. Putt Shack is a tech-infused mini golf where it's upscale, 21 plus, indoors, like it's like bowling but mini golf. And it sounds so awesome. The ball, so you know how like when you play mini golf, you never want to be the guy that's stuck with the scorecard.
Of course.
Like that's such a
fucking
shit job.
It's actually like it's almost like you deserve a couple strokes or something for doing it because you're always fucking not paying attention to the ball while you're writing scores that people have already hit.
The ball has technology in it to keep track of your scores electronically. Everyone's ball has
get out of here, really?
That's pretty cool.
And there's going to be like mini games. Like I was looking at the website. They have like beer pong with mini golf. So like you go off the ramp and like it's all indoors, like scenic lighting. They have like high-end cocktails, high-end appetizers. It's going to be fucking awesome. Would you guys ever go to a place like that?
100%.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah, I've been saying for a while, and maybe I'll have, actually, I don't think I'll have a chance to do it going down to Florida this weekend, but it reminds me of like the pop stroke thing that Tiger Woods is doing. It's like upscale mini golf for, I mean, I think the pop stroke is all ages or anything or something like that, but it's upscale mini golf. It's mini golf. It really hasn't seen much of like an innovative, it hasn't seen much innovation in the last.
Still pretty popular too, though. You know?
It's always popular. Like go in the summertime, going down the Cape, freaking playing mini golf.
I also, for the record, Tiger Woods' mini golf course is a little bit odd to me. Because they're doing like, his is like a chip and putt.
Yes.
Like they're like holes that are, they're like half holes.
It's like 30-yard chip and putts.
Yeah, and I did that. We did that over, which I mean, that granted is like probably a shit box compared, but we like went to a local place and did their little chip and putt.
Well, like Mulligan's Island.
No, we went over.
That's like a true par 3 though. You know, like this was like 30-yard holes. You know. And it
wasn't even 30-yard holes. It was like even less than that. No, you're right. Maybe 30 yards. Yeah, 90 feet.
Yeah,
probably.
It was really funny. But this reminds me of something that I always thought was going to take off that never took off was Monster Mini Golf. Do you guys remember what Monster Mini Golf was?
I don't think it was
that glow in the dark mini golf.
Yes, and it was more kids. It was more kiddie.
But even that, I don't know that Monster Mini Golf was about attendance. I don't think it was managed correctly. Like, I think the company itself didn't do well versus the actual concept, you know?
Yeah, because I bet you that whole company and stuff is out of business now. I haven't heard of a Monster Mini Golf in forever. So, like, but this is cool. I don't know if it's going to be 21 plus all day.
Probably not.
I don't know, because, like, I was looking at some pictures, and it looks like they based the whole thing around food and drink. Like, it's supposed to be like
yeah, but are they going to do like, they're probably going to do like birthday parties during the day or something?
I doubt it.
Seems like a brutal waste.
Seems like a weird space to be like 21 after 8 p.m. or something like that too. You know what I mean?
That's probably what it will be.
That seems, I mean, I don't know. That seems kind of weird though.
You think it should be 21 plus the whole time?
I think you're either going to go 21 plus the whole time, you're going to go all ages all time.
I think they're going 21 plus the whole time.
Yeah.
Because like
I don't know if I agree with that. Why couldn't it be 20 plus on the weekends?
I mean, you could do it on the weekends, I guess.
Well, then you throw away the summer. Or like you throw away, you know what this place is going to be perfect for? And what I saw a lot of is like corporate outings. Like, hey, 5 o'clock hits in Boston.
Yeah,
right?
this is like time zone.
Take the team out. Yes. Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
but that's all based around food and drink though.
Right. Which is like, which is to me, also, here's what I don't understand is why does it, when you say 21 plus, is it because they're trying to create the environment of like a going out type situation?
It's supposed to be like a date night spot.
Oh, I
see.
Okay.
Like that stuff.
So that's a tough one because I don't know.
Because it's just like Flight Club. Flight Club, which is, if you're unfamiliar with the Boston area, Flight Club is it's kind of just like this, but it's darts instead. Yeah. So it's like, it's darts instead. You have to be 21 to get into Flight Club.
Oh, do you really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And then there's some bowling alleys that they won't let you in unless you're 21 past a certain time.
Oh, wow.
The one at Patriots Place in Foxborough, Mass., it's past 8 p.m. You can't get in unless you're 21.
Get out of here, really? That's insane to me.
Because they make it more of like an older person.
I mean, like you would when you were a kid, like you would never go to a birthday party. I feel like most birthday parties didn't take place. As I'm saying
in the
that.
seaport, of Boston.
No, I was gonna say during the weekend, but I think home birthday parties do. But like if you were to go to like Chuck E. Cheese, it's like middle of the week at night. It's like after school kind of thing.
I don't know. I think that was more of a weekend thing, like weekend morning, like 11 a.m.
Really?
hitting Chuck E. Cheese. Yeah.
Well, we know who went to Chuck E. Cheese for his birthday parties.
I definitely had a couple.
We went
Chuck
to
E.
United
Cheese.
States of America.
Yeah.
That was
United
fucking.
States
You ever
of
go
America.
there, Will? Oh, you weren't here when you were that age, right?
No.
When?
Like what that was like. That would have been like age. That would have been just middle school as a whole.
I had like a lot of my birthday parties at this place called Z Rink, and it's just basically like
A roller rink.
kind of like a roller rink.
Yeah, that
but
was
it has like
US Skates.
other activities and bullshit you can
Yeah,
do.
laser tag, rock
Laser
wall,
tag, rock wall.
arcade.
Yeah, and then like the hockey rink was like a dry, like you could like they did half of it like soccer or some bullshit, and then you could do the other half like dry hockey, like
Yeah. But anyways, Putt Shack, going to be awesome. I can't wait to check it out. Once it actually opens, it's actually opening up this month, I think. Once it opens, we'll do a full like review of it. Should be a lot of fun. And then last thing I want to discuss, I want to like pose a question here. Do you think that there's an element of simulation golf practice that can negatively impact your game?
I've been playing golf in the meta for quite a bit, and
Oh, you're talking meta golf.
What were
it's
you
still
talking
simulation.
about?
I was talking
golf.
like that golf.
Like in the simulator?
in a simulator.
I think that it creates an unrealistic expectation at times, which
Yes,
is like,
that's exactly
you know
what
what
I
I
was
mean?
looking
Like,
for.
but at the same time, every tool has its purpose, right? Like you wouldn't use a hammer. You wouldn't use a hammer for a screwdriver's task. You know what I'm saying? Like you wouldn't solve the problem that a screwdriver solves with a hammer. So you're it's apples to oranges, like what you do in a simulator and why I've been able to teach. I've probably now, since I've owned a simulator, I've probably taught at least 5 or 10 people physically how to hit a golf ball the right way. And the way I can do that is because when you're in a simulator, and for everybody out there who's working on their golf game or cares about working on their golf game at all, the thing is when you go to a driving range and you're hitting off those mats or, where it's like very thin or you're just kind of whacking balls into the abyss, the problem is that's not where the focus should be. Where the focus is you want to take your swing and make it basically eliminate all the variables outside of, where the ball meets the club, right? Like you don't want to have to be hitting on a hill or on grass when you first learn how to swing. You want everything to be completely consistent, which is what the simulator gives you. So I could teach you how to hit a draw, or I could teach you how to not chunk the ball by just showing you the same exact swing every single time or the right way to hit it. And the mat allows you to be consistent with no other variables,
And do you think that like the data that you get from a simulator can also be helpful as well?
Oh my God, yeah. Once you know how to swing a golf club, once you have your basis down of there's knowing how to swing it, and then there's like ball shaping, which really is like the next tier of like leveling up, I think, your game. But once you get anywhere around that, even if you don't know how to ball shape, when you do club mapping in the simulator, which both of you have you ever done that, Will? Club mapping?
I mean, I've like cycled through my bag and like found I've used the sim to like kind of lock down distances a little more, but I've not like gone from scratch. No,
dude, it's like I did that early on when I was really trying to figure out my distance. And every time you get new clubs, you need to do this because if you get new clubs and they have different lofts, you will hit the ball a different distance. Like Micah's Micah's Vapor irons, when I hit that, they're a higher loft than my TaylorMade's.
Yeah, you were saying that last week.
I literally will hit it like between 5 and 10 yards different than my own clubs. But with club mapping, you're able to find out off of you pulling data from 5 shots each club that you hit, exactly what kind of distances you can expect. And you can also change the conditions. And so it's a no-brainer. Yes, Hunter, you could literally print that out or have a picture on your iPhone of all of your distances based off of pulled data from 5 or 10 swings each.
And not everybody has like a golf simulator in their office like we do, but there's so many places now that are popping up that like you can find an indoor simulator and
100%
rent out a couple hours and like just like get some stuff going. But Will, do you think the simulator helps?
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, just personally, I came into this golf season having trouble with my irons, and I spent a lot of time in the simulator, at least like 9 to 18 holes a day. And we did some practice stuff, and we did some target, whatever. But I was able to figure out my distances a lot better, and I was able to help with my ball striking a lot better as well. And so, like, for someone who's, like, obviously, like, really sick at golf and, like, I don't really need much help. I mean,
I say that video on Instagram yesterday says differently, Will. Dude laid down in front of a golf cart and called for death.
Yeah, that was after a sick fucking drive. But no, I mean, like in the grand scheme of things, like it helps with consistency. And like if you're really trying to work on something specific, like so for me, my irons, like it helped getting in there and hitting 50 to 100 balls a day. Yeah, I mean, Josh pretty much covered everything. So
that's good. That's good though. Reps is important because when you have to when you're in a different place too, like. You're in a different mindset on a range. You just innately want to fucking take out a driver and hit it as hard as you can.
Yeah, and it's also like at a range, like you've got a 200-yard wide fairway.
Yes.
So like how can you really tell that you're striking the ball where you want it to go?
Exactly.
Because you really are giving yourself, if it lands within a 50-yard window, you're like, oh man, that shot was fucking perfect.
And that, to your point, is why also the game modes on the simulator are taking the real data from your swing and applying it. So like if you wanted to try to fairway hit, or you wanted to try to at 150 in, you wanted to try to basically hit a lofty ball and have it spin back, those spin rates are calculated so that when you hit, and you can visually see and visualize the course in front of you at X distance, you definitely will learn sort of before getting onto a golf course how to do that.
Yeah, and then so like my advice would be for the people that like you can only maybe rent out a bay at a simulator for an hour, don't go and just like do what you normally do, like try to do new things, because like don't waste that simulator time on just like hitting your normal shot. And like I think that's when you if you have like an hour for a simulator, I think you got to like try to do like creative things like, hey, I'm going to work on how to draw the ball or fade the ball. But my issue with practicing on the simulator is that I'll start playing really good in the simulator, and then I get on the course, and the first time it goes bad, I'm like, I'm reverting back. And
you have to commit.
Have to commit. That's my thing about the simulator. If you're going to practice on a simulator, whether it's going to a company that rents out bays or if you're lucky enough to have your own, whatever, you have to commit to what you're working on in the simulator. Because then I think you're just wasting your time.
Well, that happened with Alex, our buddy, who came on the podcast a month ago. When he came on, the same day I worked with him. I've been golfing with him forever. He has a swing in his. He's been playing as long as I have. In fact, he played even before I started playing. And he has a swing. He's gone to lessons. He's done a number of things. What happened was he built these habits that were no good for his mobility and his torque and his turnover. It was all off. And he was slicing the ball like a maniac. And we worked for literally an hour. And we changed probably 5 or 10 quick little minute things in his swing. And he started fucking hitting like 180, 7 irons with a draw, like controlling draw and fade. And when he got to the golf course, he would fucking hit it into the woods kind of shit, but he committed to it. And so he's baking it in.
I think once you work on something in a simulator, don't expect it to just
translate immediately.
Yes, exactly.
But you have to commit.
Again, that's the hammer tool analogy, is like that's one tool to use. And then the next step of your training is go to a golf course and physically take the things that you tried to do in the simulator and do it off real ground.
Yeah. And it's probably not going to go that well at first, but you got to commit. That's the basis of what we're saying. But you're saying that metagolf throwing you off?
Metagolf's a different story, because metagolf, you're not using real clubs. You could use a real club, but even then, first off, that's fucking dangerous.
Yeah.
You can't see anything around.
Swinging a fucking driver around your living room.
That would be so bad.
But you can do that. And so the weight is all off, but the motion is the same. So when you hit a golf club after like extensive meta golf play, it feels like you're holding like a fucking chunk of lead in your hands.
I know.
It feels so heavy, and then your motion is like you're used to just like this little whip, this like weightless like featherweight whip, and it fucks you. Literally fucked my swing up.
Yeah, meta golf is freaking awesome though.
But it's also adjusted because now I've played it long enough that like I'm sort of they're both in there.
Yeah, you can turn it on, turn it
off. Exactly.
Yeah. All right, that's going to wrap up the golf segment for this week. I thought that was pretty fun. We're going to transition into some What Are We Watching? And I got a lot of things. I'm going to try to keep it close because I did have a big cave weekend, so I was cranking out a bunch of movies. I caught up on some new releases that I really wanted to see. I watched the new A24 movie, X, which Will has actually, I think, talked about on this podcast before. X, very good horror movie. It's a great slasher. It's good. It's really fucked up, though. Extremely gruesome. But A24 is a production studio that I absolutely love. And I found out that they filmed a sequel at the same time, but it's actually a prequel. And so I'm very excited for that to come out. I watched The Black Phone, which is a new horror movie that came out as well. I was on a big horror kick for some reason this weekend.
Yeah, damn, dude.
The weather is kind of set you up for that, though.
I get weird when it rains like that.
Yeah.
It's just like I get like weird
screamo music in horror movies.
Yeah, I get way more like emotional when it rains out. Like I don't know why or what.
It's the pressure drop in the atmosphere.
Dude, I think the moisture in the air makes my joints a little bit.
Oh yeah, I feel it in my knees.
I can picture Josh just staring out the window into the rain
with an ice pack wrapped around his head.
One tear just comes down his face.
I'm getting this bad rap, dude. I mean, to be fair, I'm a pretty active person, so I get fucking ice packs because I go balls to the wall, man.
And then I finally got to watch Top Gun Maverick, and it was just as good as the people are saying. Like, that movie was fucking awesome. And then, but the big movie that I want to recommend, and I think it was released in about 2014, so it is a little bit older. It's on Amazon Prime streaming. The movie is called Coherence. It is the trippiest movie I have ever seen in my life. Extremely low budget movie. You know, they weren't trying to do anything crazy. Takes place with like 8 characters in one setting, and it is unbelievable. The basis of it, I'll give you a quick like rundown. A comet passes by, and like everybody knew the comet was coming, and it just fucks everything up. So the comet goes by, and then like things go south. And, like, it gets really trippy, and, like, it's very sci-fi thriller mystery movie. And it's only, like, I think it's, like, less than 90 minutes. So it's, like, a quick, like, hour 25 watch. It is so, so good. I highly recommend it. If you like those trippy psychological thrillers with some sci-fi mixed in, watch this movie, Coherence, on Amazon Prime streaming. Very good movie.
There's another good movie that's, like, a one set. I think I've talked about it maybe on the podcast before. I think it's called The Tailor. I might be wrong.
Velocipaster?
Yeah, that's it.
That's on Amazon.
That's it. I was wrong, yeah. No, yeah. Sorry, if anyone's listening, I think it's called The Tailor. Another really like good like 90-minute movie, one set. All happens in the same place, but it's like a thriller, psychological type movie. And for being literally just happen, it's hard to explain. But for it to happen just in one centralized location, the entire movie, they did a good job. So
yeah, and then one movie I watched last night that I'm a huge like sci-fi guy, like with like aliens and stuff. I watched the new because I just got logged into Amazon Prime streaming finally. That's why I'm watching all these movies. But Chris Pratt, The Tomorrow War. Came out a couple years ago.
I saw that.
It's like a time warping alien movie. It's fucking awesome.
Here's the thing.
I stopped watching Chris Pratt though because he's
really
fucking weirdo now.
Why?
I'm not going to get into it on the podcast, but he went in my eyes. He went way south. So
oh shit, I got to look into that because I don't know what you're talking about. But here's what I'll tell you, Andrew, is that like I don't know how you're coming into this.
I know you're going to
say. Yeah, you know what the fuck I'm going to say, dude. You realize, and anybody listening to this, for those of you that don't know, the stratosphere has just been exploded in the world of content and media. And what I might be referring to is the, multi-billion-dollar acquisition and production shoot of the fucking Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. And Andrew, instead of watching this piece of content through his cave weekend, which, oh, by the way, Jeff Bezos has now built into every Amazon box that gets sent out of the hundreds and hundreds of, trillion-dollar company that Amazon is. Andrew decided that he would watch movies that have been made in, between the era of 1950 to 2000.
At least he watched X. That's 2022.
Yeah. And the Black Phone was 2020.
That's true. And the Black Phone.
And Top Gun was
Dude,
2022.
You're still months behind though.
Yeah, you're like if anybody wants to listen to this podcast for what was the best movie, like 6 months to
75 years ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say early 1700s, but then I realized there was no movies then. Just listen for Andrew's picks.
Coochie's gonna come in with a Charlie Chaplin silent movie. Next fucking. He's like, yeah, it was really good. There was no sound though.
Well, that was a great pull, dude. Charlie Chaplin, I like that. That was excellent.
He does have a couple good movies.
But, fuck off.
I took a film class once.
On that note of Andrew's picks, I will say the most obvious is Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. I watched it. It was one of the fucking craziest shows. I think it's also only 2 episodes, which it sucks because like my brother and I had this issue where like I've only had this issue a couple times, but when you watch the Lord of the Rings of Power, it's so good that it ruins everything else. You have a void that you cannot fill once you've watched it. And there's only 2 eps out right now. So like I think this Friday is the next one, but it literally is so fucking good because all the movies you're used to watching like 4 hours of content in one sitting, and then you're like, all right, I've got my fill. And the story's over. They just continuously they're leaving you on cliffhangers on the best content that's ever made.
So let me ask you a question. Do you like how they're going week to week, or would you have rather them dropped it all at once?
Oh, Andrew, now you're asking the right
question
questions.
of the ages, right?
Yeah. Now you're asking the right kind of
Stranger
question.
Stranger Things came out. They dropped the whole season at once, except for the last 2 episodes. I sat and watched 9 straight hours of TV, and then I was like, "Fuck!" I just waited 3 years.
My
and
opinion,
burned it all in one day.
I think that my hope for Lord of the Rings is that it starts to develop the following that Game of Thrones had, because it's a whole new era now. I mean, now they can just come out with anything as far as like timeline. They can jump all over, but. That was my hope. And so like the weekly I felt like boded well for that. On the same note, as a viewer and like a consumer,
selfishly,
I just want to be able to watch it. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to wait fucking 6 months to see what happens. It's and that's an over exaggeration. It's not that long, but it's just annoying, Yeah,
because like Game of Thrones is airing House of the Dragon right now, and they didn't do the binge. They're doing week to week, just like Thrones used to be. If this Lord of the Rings show gets big enough, it could be like just side by side. They'll just trade off days, because if they do Friday for their release and Game of Thrones is Sunday, just like if they both get big enough, like it's just like people go Lord of the Rings Friday, then trade off Sunday, they watch Game of Thrones. Right. Everybody's always talking about it. I love that. I love when a show like captivates people like that.
And on that note of fantasy, if you haven't seen it yet, I can't remember if I talked about it or not.
You did, but you hadn't finished it yet. You hadn't finished it yet.
Yeah, I finished Sandman, and Sandman is along the lines of like, it was written by one of the greatest fantasy writers in the known
Guillermo
universe.
del Toro?
No. He's a director. He did Hellboy and a bunch of Pan's Labyrinth. But no, this this guy who physically wrote it, is like known as like one of the greatest. He's done a whole bunch of shit. I don't remember enough about him to talk on it. But the point is, Sandman. That show was one of those shows where very different from Lord of the Rings, very different from The Witcher. It was hardcore dark. Like a lot of visuals and a lot of things in there that can disturb your sort of like mini universe within your own head. But altogether, like one of the best pieces of content I think that's ever hit Netflix's platform.
Speaking on The Witcher, who's the actor who plays Geralt?
Henry Cavill.
He got injured on set, so I don't know how long.
Yeah, I heard that.
I don't know how long that's going to slow down production, but Witcher season 3, I'm already waiting for.
That's a fire show.
That's another show. The Witcher releases all their episodes at once, and I did it again. Like I was so excited for Witcher 2. It came out, and I watched the whole thing in one sitting. I was like, "Fuck."
Yeah.
And
that's what you want, though. Sometimes it's all about who you are.
I know, but like now that Game of Thrones is airing again right now, I'm kind of back in that. I love how like everybody watches it once week to week and like talks about it, and like I don't know. I just think
problem with that show is they're just moving a little too, like it's gonna move slow like Game of Thrones did initially. Are you watching that, Will?
The new Game of Thrones.
The House of the Dragon.
Haven't watched it yet.
Did you watch the original? Like, did you watch Game of Thrones?
I did. I did watch the original.
Did you like it?
Oh, I loved it.
Oh,
for someone who's not really big into like fantasy or stuff like that, like it was hard for me to start watching. But then obviously, like everyone else that saw it, it's like you're locked in immediately.
Just became a social phenomenon.
It did.
Felt that's why I started watching it because I got so fucking tired of people everyone asking me, "Oh, did you see the new Thrones episode?" And I'm like, "Dude, I haven't even started from season 1 yet."
It's just such a show that those shows have so. That was the only thing I was
bad.
Yeah, and that's the only concern I have for Lord of the Rings is that it's still like kind of PG-13, like which I don't have a problem with, but I do think that there's less of an opportunity for shock and awe.
Yeah.
Like, you know how people with Thrones, they like go around like talking about it like, oh, did you see that happen? Like that.
I can't believe they did that.
Yeah,
on TV.
When the mountain like put his fingers through that dude's eye, like everybody was like, oh my God, did you see that shit? That was fucking crazy. And like even this first episode of House of the Dragon was, even though I didn't like it and it was way too overboard for me, it was also like,
they did a live C-section.
Yeah, like they're doing shit on screen that you can't help but be like, what the fuck did I watch last night?
Yeah.
Whereas
did you watch the third episode of House of the Dragon?
Not yet. I'll get to it.
It's pretty good.
Oh, me? My turn?
Yeah.
Okay. So actually, I have something new, not from the 1700s. So I was binging Parks and Rec the other night, and I saw a trailer come on for this new show called The Last Resort. It's got Nick Offerman in it, so I think that's why they were kind of like advertising it on Parks and Rec. And it looked really good, so I said, fuck it, I'm going to try it out. So my girlfriend Marissa and I started watching it last week, and we're fully locked in on it. It's kind of an interesting show. I said it's on Peacock, right? Yes.
No.
Oh, it's on Peacock. It's a Peacock original. I've never watched a Peacock original before, so kind of I was going blind into here. The Resort on Peacock, great fucking show. The episodes are like between 30 and 60 minutes long. They kind of fluctuate. It's basically it's based on this couple that goes to, I believe, Tulum or Cancun for their honeymoon. And they're out on an ATV ride, and the girl crashes, and she ends up finding this random cell phone. And so the first part of the show is her trying to like figure out what's on the cell phone. And then once she figures out what's on the cell phone, all hell breaks loose about like this mysterious other resort that closed down, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to give it away, but it's kind of like a dark comedy thriller.
Damn.
On Peacock.
Okay.
And the finale just came out last week, so all the episodes are up there now.
Oh,
There's 10 episodes. I think we're on 7. But it's a really good show to binge because you can crush like 3 episodes in an hour and a half, 2 hours. Really cool, funny, dark. It kept me locked in the entire time. And honestly, I'm looking forward to getting home and watching.
That's a cool one.
So the Resort on Peacock. Yeah.
Kristen Milotti. She ends up being she is the mother from How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, I don't really know a lot of the other actors. I recognize a lot of them, but I don't know their names other than Nick Offerman.
I'm gonna watch that. That looks good. I just looked it up on
It's
IMDb.
really good, yeah. I don't know what it's got for ratings or anything.
Good.
It's got
7.4 on IMDb.
anything above 7 is usually pretty decent.
What I was going to ask was Parks and Rec. You said you got advertised to when you watched it?
Yeah, because with Peacock, you got to watch trailers. Like, you got to watch advertisements twice throughout. I don't think we have, like, the premium version of Peacock.
Got it.
But I saw it, and I was like, let's try it out.
Because I have Cox, like, Contour. I get free Peacock Premium. So I'm definitely watching
Another little tiny bit of film news is that Netflix is now launching a new subscription platform where you can, they've treaded the line of how many ads that people can, like, stand to watch, and also giving like a more reduced
because
cost.
They bumped it to 20 and they have a reduced rate with ads.
It's like $8.99, but you get like a couple ads here or there. So they found this new thing, and
I'm out.
Yeah, no, I'm out too. But I'm just saying that for anybody that is not on that platform, it's kind of an interesting thing. I mean, if it's more reasonable and it's not like you don't have, like, if you had breaking up your show, like less than 30 seconds, maybe even like a 15-second ad, like twice in any given show or something like that, really would not be that bad.
I'm not like I hate cable TV, but like if there's an ad, like Peacock does, I think 2 60-second breaks throughout an episode. I don't really care because I might need to get up and do something. I might need to go to the bathroom, or like I have ADHD, so I can't pay attention to something for a long period of time anyways.
That's also, yeah. That's
I don't
all.
hate it.
If
I
it's
don't
a
hate
couple
it.
ads that are, I mean, I just think at the end of the day, like Netflix is just with everything that's been going on. I feel like they've just been trying to like get more money at this point with like the password sharing thing, raising prices, losing subscribers, blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, like I don't really care about the ads that much, unless it's like cable TV where it's like you watch 2 minutes of TV and then it's 5 minutes of advertisements.
60 seconds is still long for me. I think 60-second ads are it's a minute off. Because if I'm dedicated to watching, like I agree with you. Like if I'm like working too, I like to work and watch sometimes. So that plays well, but still 60 seconds is too long. I think between 15 to 25-second breaks, if they do on Netflix per like 30 minutes of watching time.
Do you have Hulu?
I do, yeah.
Do you have Hulu Premium or Hulu with ads?
Hulu with ads, I think.
Those can be brutal sometimes.
Well, so here's what I'll ask you guys, because I think Peacock does this occasionally. Would you care if they just played 120 seconds of ads before your show or movie started and then it's ad free? Because like I know I've watched movies on Hulu where it's like watch 140 seconds of ads and then enjoy your movie ad free.
Oh, I would do that hands down over the interruptions.
Yeah, so would I.
I would too.
Wow, that's an interesting
actually
thing.
wouldn't do it though if I was trying to binge a show though.
I guess, but I mean, like 120 seconds is 2 minutes.
I would do that in a heartbeat.
You can just get up and go get a sandwich from the kitchen and
Yeah,
come back.
you don't
and
even
your
have to
show's
watch
on.
it, and you just know that.
You know what the issue is for me is I already know like how sick Hulu Premium is. I don't know if I could ever go back. Like they got me.
Well,
you
Andrew,
know?
we're on the heavier end, I think, of viewers. You know what I mean? Like you and I watch a lot of content. I
Yeah,
just
that's
happen to
true.
watch newer, more cool content.
I
And you
also-
sort of go back in time.
Yeah. I also
Time traveler Galucci.
I also
Traveler.
I hate ads so much that I freaking subscribe to YouTube Premium. That's $15 a month.
But those
just to
ads
take-
were a lot.
Oh, they got ridiculous.
YouTube had raised it and raised the bar over and over again because they wanted you to go to premium. So they were like, because they were just launching that.
It's
So
gonna
that,
hammer you with it.
yeah, they were just they got to the point where they were doing per video. I mean, you almost were watching more ads than you were the video. I mean, it was out of control.
So Will, the resort looks good. I'm actually gonna watch that because I need a new besides Lord of the Rings, I also need like a cool like once.
Yeah,
Just don't watch it 6 months from now and come back and talk about it with me because I'm
Yeah,
not gonna remember what the fuck I watched.
Will, you
Well,
got
speaking
anything
my
else?
fucking
No, it's just that I usually don't even have. I don't watch a lot of TV, so I usually don't have a lot to bring to the table here. But I did start watching that, so
that's a cool show.
and I would highly recommend it. So
All right, say less. All right, that's gonna bring us into LD from the T. Larry David complaints from the T box. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Take it away.
We haven't done this segment. Well, at least I haven't. I missed like one pod or something. You guys might have done it, but I've had a few stocked up. So my LD from the T today, and I've been holding on to this one for a while, is people who use the self-checkout line with a full fucking cart of groceries.
I couldn't agree more.
So here's my perspective on it. Self-checkout lines should be treated the same as express lines.
I agree.
If I'm using the self-checkout line, I've got a few. I don't even think I have a fucking
12
basket
items
or
or
a cart.
left?
15 items or less, let's call
15
it.
or less.
So take the complete backup out of it, like creating a massive fucking line when people are just trying to get out the door and go home. Last week, I literally saw a woman using the self-checkout line with a full carriage of groceries and 2 children, one of which she was holding, and they were both fucking up the whole checkout process. So not only do you have to scan and input all your items, but now you have to deal with 2 interfering children while simultaneously bagging up and paying when there are literally people who are paid to check out your groceries, bag them, and put them in your cart for you.
And
They still exist. Robots haven't taken over completely in grocery stores yet. So just imagine, like, you're sitting there with your 2 fucking children who are just throwing shit in the cart, throwing shit out of the cart, and you've got to fucking type in an item number for your bananas.
Yeah.
That makes no fucking sense to me. So if I had to deal with that every single time I went to the grocery store, I would walk back to the butcher section and ask me to put them on for sale. Put me on for sale, because I'm not. Cut me up and put me out in the fucking
I gotta
poultry
be honest,
section.
that should have been your stand-up section right there,
Yeah.
dude. That was a good line. Did you like rehearse that?
No, I mean I typed this out. I've had a few of these sitting in the archives,
But the little line about the butcher, that was a comedy line. That was
maybe, but that's literally how I feel, because it's like, look, there's people who are respecting the full cart rule and going to the normal checkout line
Yeah.
and letting them do it. But literally, like the last 3 times I've gone to the grocery store, and I'm taking Aldi's out of this because Aldi's doesn't have self-checkout. But every time I go to Stop and Shop or Shaw's or Dave's, actually Dave's doesn't have it either, but I am stuck in a line of people because there's, 4 people decided, hey, I'm going to do 2 weeks worth of grocery shopping and do it and check it all out. I want to be a part-time cashier. I'm going to check out myself. Get fucked.
Dude, the worst is like those people always fuck up 1 or 2 items.
Yeah, and then you got to call the person over in the blinking light. And then yeah, it's like, dude, and then like half the self-checkout machines are out of order, and it's like, I'm going grocery shopping somewhere else.
Definitely like the robot.
So annoying.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you, though. You got any more?
No, that's it.
I can tell you're passionate.
I was
about
fucking
that
pissed
Go ahead,
about that one.
What do you got?
All right, I got. All right, this one pisses me off, and it's such a subtle thing, and it shouldn't piss me off, but it does. And you don't really go to a lot of fast food anymore, so Will, you might be the only one on my side here. When you pull up to a fast food drive-through, and they have the automatic voice that comes on and says, hey, welcome to McDonald's. Would you like to try the new today?
Every fucking time. You're checking out with your app? No.
No, and it's not the real person. So, like, you start talking to people like, oh, no, I'm all set, but I'll have it. And then someone interrupts, like, hey, welcome. What can I get you for today?
Yeah, it's just a fucking automated voice recording.
It's an automated voice recording that plays as soon as you hit it. And unless you know that it's automatic, you start talking to it. And then the person comes on, interrupts you, and you have to start your whole order over again.
Yeah, it's brutal.
It is the worst thing in the world.
I hate that. Maybe like a 2-piece here of like yours and mine would be when people order like a carload of food in the drive-thru.
Yeah.
Like
no inside.
you got a car of 8 people. Half of them are probably drunk. Don't know what they want. You got to order for the entire car. You got a $55 drive-through order. And I guess fast food places have kind of solved this issue with like the pull up and we'll bring the food out to you. But it's like, how hard is it to just go inside?
Yeah, I know. I totally agree. The only fast food that I think has the best drive-through, and it's easily Chick-fil-A. They're running an operation over there that I can't even get my head around. It's unbelievable. They have like 50 people outside.
They actually, I found out the other night at the concert when I talked to them instead of watching the concert, I found out that they have the North Attleboro location of Chick-fil-A. How many employees do you think that they have?
Like on a daily basis?
So just like on payroll, how many people do you think they have?
50 to 100.
65.
You got to give me a real number because that's a big number. Like just give me not a real number, a singular number.
50.
65.
70.
Oh, okay.
That's a lot of fucking people, dude.
It is, but they got all their minions out there running around taking orders.
It's crazy, dude. They're all in the parking lot pouring rain. They have the jackets on. They come over here.
They're going all out.
I love that. And then I have one more. I referenced it earlier. There's kind of a more serious one, but like I was driving, and we keep doing the driving.
It's such a bad problem, the roads in America.
I was coming back from the Cape Sunday night. I was behind the drunkest driver I've ever seen, and like
that sucks.
It was at the point where I was like genuinely scared because like you have that option of like, okay, I can pass him, but this guy was so over the road that I was like, if I pass him, he could easily sway right into me, and that's it. You know,
could be a life or death pass.
But then I was like, if I lag behind him too much and he flips the car and I have to brake, the guy behind me doesn't see what I'm seeing. I'm going to get nailed.
If this dude flipped his car, I think the car behind you probably would see it.
I would hope so.
I informed Colucci this morning upon hearing this story that you can call in drunk drivers.
I didn't know you could do that.
And they'll send people out. Like if you're going over the fucking Cape Cod Bridge or whatever and you say, hey, this guy, the pickup truck license plate fart dumbass is swerving all over the road, they'll send like a local police officer out to go find this guy.
You should have just done a citizen's arrest and just like sideswipe the car into a spin roll out.
Just did one of those like fucking cop maneuvers and hit his front end and spin him out.
It's called pit maneuver.
Pit maneuver and just like slide him out. So he did like a 360.
Dude, I like couldn't believe it. Like, but the thing is,
citizen's arrest.
He was in this big ass pickup truck and I was in my little sedan and I had my little brother in the car too. So I was like, I'm holding it. I'm like legitimately like sweating, like fuck, and I'm just like, fuck this guy, dude, like fuck him.
Don't drink and drive.
What do you think? What do you think Colucci would say when he came up to the window if he had like sideswiped it out? You know, can you imagine Colucci walking out with his little flashlight and he's like, sir, I'm putting you under a citizen's arrest. The guy looks up and he's like, fuck you.
He just looks up like somehow automatically knows it's Colucci. Get the fuck out of here, Colucci.
Get the fuck out of here, Colucci. Go back to 1970s and fucking watch Charlie Chaplin and the boys.
Yeah, but fuck that guy. And Josh, you're Larry David.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually had a fucking couple things that have been really pissing me off recently. I think probably the number one thing for me is like, when you have a role that a business depends on you, you know what I mean? Answer your fucking phone. I get it's killing me, dude. It's killing me. 5 straight days we had an issue with Bank of America. Private, mind you, the private sector of Bank of America. We had an issue with our payment because things weren't going through from our advertising. And I'm on the phone. I called 5 days in a row and left like multiple voice messages like, call me back. And I'm not going to say her name because she's whatever. But didn't call me back, refused to answer. And meanwhile, like, we have tens of thousands of dollars at stake here of like missed sales and, you know, shit going on. And it's an urgent thing. And I couldn't get on the phone with her. And so now I'm like going to just call Bank of America directly. And then she's going to get pissed off at me that I call Bank of America directly. Like, because they have a 24-hour helpline.
Yeah.
So like I could call them and I could get done whatever I need to get done. But I'm going over this person's head and she doesn't like that too much. But fuck her at this point and fuck them because it's getting to the point now where like they're critical to our business and they just don't answer their phones on us. It's amazing to me.
Yeah, the worst is the all the companies that have outsourced to robots. So like you have to go down like a task to just get to a person. It is it's unbelievable. FedEx.
You almost, but you at least with
started.
that's just like the intro. They just want to know what you're calling about and make sure that they direct you to the right person.
No. There's these voice robots that like you have to battle against to get to a real person.
No, I know, but if you just sit there, Andrew, trust me, I've dealt with them too. I've called customer service a million times from different businesses. I don't like that, but at least on the other end of that little thing, you know that there's a real person. I'm saying that I'm calling it like on like a Tuesday at like, you know, whatever, 5, and they're local to Rhode Island. Yeah. I'm calling them at like 12 p.m. Eastern time, and they're just refusing to answer. Or they're just not there. Insane. They're like Fugazi. They're just like this fake role. So I'll leave it at that. But people, if a business depends on you, answer the phone. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do whatever they ask, but answer the phone.
Get a fucking pager if you're not going to answer the phone.
Get a pager, dude. Something.
You got any more?
I had one that was driving, but I feel like you already kind of got the driver one.
Yeah, we hit that sector already. Yeah, fuck that guy. But answer the phone.
All right, I'll do it. Fuck it. I'm gonna do it. When you get to a 4-way stop, right? Or even if you're not a 4-way stop, but like two cars coming up to a 4-way stop. If I'm sitting there waving you on, you just go. You don't need to battle me. You don't need
I literally had this happen to me on the way to Connecticut National the other day.
Yeah.
4-way stop, only 2 cars pull up, me and another car, and I wave them on, and then they wave me on. And then I'm like, no, you go. And then she's like, no, you go. And then now we're just both sitting there smiling at each other. And I'm like, fine, I'll fucking go now that it's been 25 minutes.
Yeah. And what's even worse.
And you start to go, and then they start to go. You're like,
and now you're like jutting forward. And what's even worse is like today it happened to me again from when I figured out I was going to use this. Today it happened to me again. It was actually over by Izumi. I'm pulling into a strip mall. And I'm like going through, and I go to, and there's the Starbucks like takeout line where they drive through and what. It's the Starbucks drive through. I pull up to the stop sign. Another car pulls up to the stop sign, same exact time. And this car has tinted windows. So now I can't even see what they're trying to say to me. So I'm going like this. I'm going like this, saying, "Hey," I'm waving my hand in the air right now as the signal to go, and they're not going. They refuse to go. So I drive. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll just go. And I can't see them, so I can only assume that hope to God that they saw my hand going, go, go, go. But after I drive by, I look back in the rear view. They're just sitting at the stop sign. They didn't even go. They just are like taking their time at the stop sign. And I was like, what world are we living in, dude? I can't do this anymore. Like, what the fuck?
Driving infuriates me more like day to day.
Yeah, it does. The tinted windows kill me, dude. Like, there's no means.
Well, it's probably like a fucking 5% tint if you can't see them that much. Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible.
Regardless.
All right, now we're gonna go into our stand-up closing segment. Got a few quick ones for you today. I'm coming in with the story. I'm very nervous how I'm going to deliver it, but who wants to go first?
I'll go.
There you go.
All right.
that was such like a sensual. I'll go.
All right. Here we go. So from a young age, this is probably notable, but from a young age, I've always taken things very literally, almost to a fault. And so as I mentioned, I was down at South Kingston with the family on Saturday, and we were kind of reminiscing. We basically, from 1995, maybe even before, until 2016, we went to South Kingston every year for like 2 weeks. It's a lot of fun. So we were like reminiscing on our memories together and all the things we used to do. We had family there that used to come and visit as well. So for whatever reason, this sparked a memory that my dad had, and I've never heard this story before. So hopefully I don't butcher it, and Dad, I'm sorry if I do. But the story goes as follows. When I was six, my dad and I were walking the beach around dinner time, and we must have just had grinders on the beach. It's kind of a common theme during vacation. We ate a lot.
Is that like a sub?
Yeah, a sub. We ate a lot of like grinders and food on the beach when we were growing up. And as we're walking along the water, my dad notices I keep doing the pee dance. You know, like the pee dance, like you're crossing your legs. You know, you're grabbing your crotch, whatever. And he looks at me and he goes, Will. You can just pee in the ocean. People do it all the time. And I'm like, okay. So my dad continues walking, 15, maybe 30 seconds goes by. A little surprising, your son's not saying next to you. That's okay.
Yeah. Peace out, bud.
But so another 15 or 30 seconds goes by, and my dad turns around, and he starts seeing people pointing and laughing and giggling. No. And he's wondering what the fuck is going on. And all of a sudden, he notices me, pants down in ankle-deep water with my little willy in my hands, peeing right into the ocean. And my dad goes, he runs back to me and he goes, "No, Will, I said in the ocean." And I look at him and I go, "Dad, I am peeing in the ocean." And he goes, "Well, okay, you're not wrong, Will."
You're not wrong. You can't be mad.
I shrugged, he shrugged, and we continued our walk.
That was a good one.
Oh, that was fucking
good
funny.
one. Good one. I like that, Will. That was a good story.
True story.
Do you want me to go next, or do you want to go? You seem like do you think this is like a whole thing you're building up? Mine's
not. I don't know how mine's gonna come
out.
out.
I'll just spitball mine out. Then it's not like previous weeks where I had this huge fucking joke plan. I've gotten now to the point where I don't understand the world. Okay, so hear me out. Okay, I know that esports has become a huge thing, and sporting, like the definition of sports, has changed over time. And esports especially is great because there's a competitive element, it's visual, and they actually, in most cases, are playing some type of like sports, right? Like FIFA or something, or I don't know, Madden or whatever. And so it's like, it still rings a bell with sports. But what is the world coming to when you're on YouTube looking around and a new ESPN sponsored sport of the Electrician Showdown pops up on your screen, dude? And I click the video and they have a bunch of drywall like walls around and a bunch of these electricians just plugging things in, dude.
I swear to God, I saw this on TikTok too.
And I was like, God. I'm like, dude, I'm watching this. I'm like, what? I was like, ESPN is sponsoring this.
That's crazy.
And then I'm like, okay, so if that's the case, then what's next? Are we going to do like the assembly line showdown, dude, where you're going to have like 32 like Oriental women fucking sitting there making fucking clothing on an assembly line at competitive speeds, and ESPN like Global is going to be sponsoring it. I don't understand it, nor do I get it. And I just had to bring that up, and that's like the whole thing right there is like just a shock and awe factor.
Well, I'll tell you what's next is they're already doing it. They had a Microsoft Excel tournament.
They're gonna do like ESPN, Amazon Fulfillment Center.
Yeah, dude.
They're gonna be like, people, how many fucking boxes and shit you can throw in and tape it.
I was in my head, I was like, how many different things in a row, like, can you think about where they could like make a competition that would be the stupidest fucking thing ever? Like how it's made competition, like Xbox controllers, or like, circuit board showdown, like
Well, it's like battle bots.
It's kind of cool in a way, but
it is kind of cool. But you know what's funny? I almost think they need to station it as a competition, because my thing is they're labeling it as esports, or like
athletes,
it's like ESPN. Like sponsors the electricians showdown. Tonight we're going to see how fast our electricians can put a plug in a wall.
You guys ever find yourself like in a dark hole of watching knife competitions?
Yeah.
Those like competitive knife competitions.
They just came out with that new show that's like got like a huge, massive budget, and it's just a bunch of people making their knives. Then they have to go through this obstacle course where they like cut chickens in half and like ice blocks.
I fucking love that show.
It's actually kind of a good show.
It is cool.
It's one of those oddly satisfying.
That's kind of a sport. It is a sport, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Ice
like
chopping?
blacksmithing, and then you're like, kung fu or whatever it is. You slicing stuff.
But the XL
Fruit
tournament,
slice.
I wasn't joking. That's a real thing.
What?
The XL tournament. Like, there are people doing Microsoft Excel spreadsheets speed-wise.
That's probably more boring than golf.
To be fair, if I was in Excel all day long and I was like the most passionate person about Excel ever, then I could imagine that being like kind of fun to watch.
Oh yeah, check out my new formula.
I'm trying to think. Can you guys think right now on the spot what would be a hilarious job that would be a competitive thing? You know, like I don't know.
I had one too.
On today's episode of Sponsored by Esports, or like
plumbing.
Yeah, ESPN. We have the fastest garbage truck disposal of trash cans and garbage bags.
You know what? Let's go full circle here. Grocery store checkouts. Fastest.
On today,
there you go.
ESPN. We are sponsoring the grocery store packing championship of the world. You know what was even crazier? They had a $600,000 prize for the winner of that competition. They had $750,000 they were giving to the best electrician. It was the fun. I couldn't believe it, and that's the end of my bit. I'm done.
All right. Much like Will, I have a story back from our younger days, because we were reminiscing about old stories back over at the Cape house. So we were having a big family party at my friend's house, and this is the same crazy cousin who was hitting golf balls into his neighborhood. We're at the top of his driveway, and all of the aunts and uncles' cars are parked down low. And my uncle was trying to sell his car to get a new car, and he was all excited about it. He was telling the whole family about it, whatever. So we're skipping rocks down the hill, towards the cars, but, we're not throwing them at the cars, obviously. And my cousin, as a joke, he goes, "Oh, everybody throw a rock at David's car on 3, 1, 2, 3." And we were like, "Oh, funny." He threw the rock, and it went up in the air, took a nice little arch, and went right through his windshield. And so we all looked at him like, "Are you fucking serious? Like, did you really just do that?" And he's like, "Oh, shit. So we developed this whole story, right? We're sitting there as kids. We're like, "All right, just don't say anything. Let's just walk to the back, not say a word." Here comes my uncle, just happened to be walking down the driveway at that time to go get something out of his car. And my idiot cousin, instead of just saying nothing, and we probably would have gotten away with it because there was a whole big bunch of people there. He goes, "Hey, Uncle, there was a couple kids driving by on bikes, some teenagers. I think they threw a rock through your car." And my uncle just took one look at it, looked at him, and knew right away. And then it was a fucking disaster. And he got in so much trouble. And that was a horrible story.
I'm looking at Josh this whole time.
Here's the thing. Unfortunately, I know that story.
I didn't know if you did. That's why I was skeptical about it.
You went in reverse from last week, because last week, by the way, I'll tell you this, you had multiple people hit me up and go, Colucci's story this week was electric. And they thought it was so funny. So I'm not going to hate on you or anything like that. It was a good try. Next week.
And that'll do it, folks.
And that'll do it. Now to the next sponsored show. We have Tic-Tac-Toe, the competition of a lifetime, $600 million purse.
Don't forget Connect 4 next week.
I was gonna say Connect 4 would be a great one for that. Connect 4, the best.
This week we have the Dishwasher Championships. A $1 million prize to see who can do the most dishes.
You know, it was a really cool show. Did you ever watch the competitions of the woodcutters when they would do all the woodcutting
That's
stuff?
what Will and I were talking about.
No,
We're
that's
talking
the
about
knife. That's
knife.
the knives through the water bottles. I'm talking about the lumberjack games. I think it was actually called
Wait, what were you talking about then?
I was talking about the knife competition.
They
where
make
like,
their own knives,
And then they gotta slice like tennis balls and water bottles and
No, that's not what I'm talking about. There's this new show. It's more to what he's talking about. There's this new show. I think it's on Netflix. I'm almost positive. And it's like Forged in Fire.
I've seen those before.
No, it's not. Forged in Fire is the one where they make the knives. But there's this whole other show that's like Forged and Tested or something like that. I'll find the name out after the fact. But for this show is like they have a Ninja Warrior style obstacle course with like in the middle of it is like an ice block. At the end of it, you have to cut through a fish. You have to cut through a chicken. And you have to go through this whole sequence. You have to cut through like bamboo and shit. And they did a whole show on it. And it's like a legitimate, you can win serious money. And like, it's all a bunch of people from the South going like, I think my knife is going to be the best knife in the whole world because my knife is going to cut through gold or something like that. And they just like cut stuff.
Cut.
Hey, that's entertainment. All right. Hey, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to episode 21 of T-Box Talk. Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy. The NFL is back this weekend.
No one cares.
I care.
I care too, actually. I have a good fantasy team.
Yeah,
I
it's
think.
all about fantasy.
Yeah, I
so
know.
go Patriots. Go. Good luck in your fantasy leagues, and everybody have a wonderful weekend.
See ya.